bro. Like, without the promoters, the scene is dead. Like, it's nothing gonna happen. We can still break, and I'm still gonna break, but as far as interacting with other people, just imagine if there was no IBE, if there was no freestyle session. The scene would be hurting, dude. I probably wouldn't have an endorsement the way I have endorsed by Monster. There wouldn't be no BC1, nothing, you know. So we have to appreciate these people, you know what I mean?
Thanks a lot for tuning in, everybody. My name is Paul. I'm the channel owner of ProDanceTV, and I've been active in the breaking community for 20 years now. And due to all the recent happenings and the world is pretty much on a lockdown, I started a series called ProDance Talks, and every talk will feature another guest ranging from dancer, DJ, MC to promoter. And in the recent weeks, we already had some great talks with Hooch from the UK BBoy Championships and Tyrone from the Notorious IBE. And this time, it's my honor to welcome Kareem, Rockforce crew, Monster Energy BBoy squad, winner of multiple international breaking championships, such as the World BBoy Classic World Final and the UK BBoy Championships Solo Battle. And I've met Kareem a couple of times around the globe. Every time I meet him, there's always such a positive vibe, and we have some inspiring talks. So for me, I'm curious to find out how this pandemic is affecting him and how he's making the best of it. So first of all, Kareem, welcome to ProDance Talks.
Oh, bro, thank you so much, Paul. I really appreciate the opportunity, bro. And thanks for the kind words, man. I appreciate it, man, for real.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. Could you tell us something about the current situation in the US?
Sure.
Since when have you been at home?
We've been at home. I live in Las Vegas, so we've been at home since I think the beginning of March. I lost the track of time, man. But I think it's been the beginning of March that all this stuff has been happening for us. For me, it's definitely changed a lot because Las Vegas, the strip is completely closed, dude. Like, and that's never happened before. So you can go to the strip. Mind you, the strip is 24 hours, but now there's like everything's closed. Like there's nobody. People don't have jobs, so it's pretty crazy, man. It's pretty crazy. I can't front. It's scary.
Damn. At what moment did you realize for yourself, like, okay, this is serious? What moment was it?
Honestly, I knew once all the sports teams started like canceling their events or postponing their matches. That's when I was like, holy shit, this is like serious. And then Trump actually, I was supposed to go to Switzerland, and then the day I was supposed to leave, Trump enacted the 30-day ban to go to Europe. Like a few hours before I was supposed to get on the flight, he enacted it. And if I would have went to Europe, I would have got stuck.
At what moment did you realize, okay, this can take longer than a couple of weeks?
Honestly, bro, I didn't realize it was gonna take this long until like a couple weeks ago. And I was like, holy shit, this is like a lot of changes and a lot of restrictions. And then when the schools started to close down, that's when I was like, okay, yeah, this is gonna take. And I think what people don't realize is, I think my theory is that there's most likely gonna be a second wave, not just like, you know, in the next summer, but like in the winter's time when flu season comes back, most likely it's gonna be a second wave then too, you know. So that's when I'm like, okay, this is gonna take some time, dude, a long time.
And that will basically mean that even for the rest of the year, or maybe even the beginning of next year, until there's a medicine or a vaccine discovered, we'll be in this kind of situation. Like maybe a little bit loose, maybe a little bit more strict, but going on and off, right?
For sure. And I talked to a couple of friends from like Europe, and like who did I talk to that I was tripping off of? I talked to Tafiq. I talked to him a couple weeks ago, and he was like, yo, yeah, everything's closed. And that's when it kind of hit me too. I'm like, holy shit, like this is not just America. Like, you know, that's what's cool about breaking too, is that you can connect with people all over the world like pretty instantly to find out how they're doing. And Tafiq was like, yo, luckily his crew has their own studio, so he's able to practice still. But he's like, man, there's stuff is closed.
But how does it affect the current things that you were doing? I mean, obviously you go from a normal routine to a whole nother routine, right?
Yeah. As far as like, I mean, so you know, since I do physical therapy, that's like my part-time thing. Breaking's like kind of like my main thing. it definitely changed it changed everything in breaking, bro. Like everything overnight was just canceling, and it was luckily it changed my breaking stuff, but my day-to-day, my life in Vegas, it didn't change much because I still have my job here since I work at the hospital. So luckily I'm still making money, you know. So and I'm still training, and this is my training facility, so I'm still training. I have my actually had the World Classic trophy right here too. So,
nice.
Yeah. It changed stuff, but to be honest, I'm still training. This is my car's in here right now, but I'm gonna put it out. But this is my garage and shit. So like, I'm still training all the time, dude. So I mean, I just look at an opportunity to just kind of work on my weaknesses and be ready when the events open up. You know what I mean? So yeah, dude, I'm not really. It affected me breaking wise, but as far as everything else, honestly, not really tripping too much, you know.
But what about, like, obviously you had some plans on the roster to travel and also for events in US, and nothing is happening anymore. You were also giving breaking classes at a local school, or?
Yeah, so I don't. Me and three members of Battleborn crew from Vegas, Etienne, Guillaume, and Delgado. We have a breaking program. It's more geared towards kids. We actually were having an event on March 13th, I think. March 13th, and that got canceled because of Corona, you know. But right now we're actually gonna start doing online classes just for free for the kids and stuff. Keep them busy until all this stuff is over. You know what I mean?
How do you keep your momentum during the day? So, for example, how do you prevent yourself just from saying, like, okay, fuck it, I'm just gonna play games all day and do whatever, you know? Like, how do you keep that routine?
Honestly, yeah, I have my dog here, so we take runs and stuff. And like, this is him, right? I'm literally with this guy all the time.
Nice.
Yeah, this is my guy. So, no, I mean, I read books. I read a lot of books. Man, it gets boring. No, I'm not gonna front. It does get boring, but I'm working only 3 days a week, so I plan that because of breaking. So I work 3 days a week, and then I train 4 days a week. So yeah, I'm still training. That's what I'm keeping busy, dude. Because I know it's gonna come back, and like you said, I've already won, you know, a lot of competitions, so I want to keep on winning. You know what I mean? So once everything opens back up, bro, like I'm gonna be active a lot. You're gonna see me. I was gonna actually come to World Classic this year.
Oh shit!
I was just gonna fly out, and me and my student eyes were gonna do the battle. But yeah.
Well, June 19, 2021. Mark it in the agenda. It's something to look forward to.
I need to win that. I see like Rockstride, Morris, and Wing. They have like 100 wins. You know, so like I'm pretty much there. I think I have 99 wins or 100. So I want to keep going and just, you know, stay as active as possible, right?
Did you keep a track of that, the competitive wins?
Yeah, I'm actually, so I didn't, you know, for us, I've been really lucky to be around some amazing dancers, Reveal, Iron Monkey, the list can go on, you know, Vietnam, Gerald's my main teacher, Moy, Little John, so Charles, Eric, Soul Control, so many dope dancers, you know. So, you know, they never really kept track of their events that they won. And these guys are, for me, they're legends, you know. So I didn't do the same thing. I didn't keep track. And then after a while, I'm like, when Rockstar came out with his or something, I'm like, I'm definitely there. Like, I know for a fact that I'm probably at 100 or more. Moy or Morris for sure is at 100. I think Morris is probably the most, I think, because he enters so much, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm definitely. I started keeping track now, and I'm at I'm missing some stuff, but I'm at 99 right now. So.
But how does it change your goals maybe for this year now that you're not able to travel to events or not able to compete or even maybe give classes or something? Did it change a lot for the goals you had for yourself, or?
It changed everything. Yeah. So I was supposed to go to Switzerland. I was supposed to do a couple events in the States. We did me and the crew, Rockforce, we did one event it's called Making History. It was in the Bay Area. We did that one. We won that one. But we were supposed to be at a lot. We were supposed to go to Outbreak Europe, me and Ives. We were supposed to go to IBE. We were supposed to go to BBoy Classic. We were supposed to win or battle and win. My logic is when I enter, I'm going there to win. So when I say win, it's like I'm already manifesting that I won. So we're supposed to win Battle Year Houston, North America, and then win Battle Year World Finals. Now all this stuff is just gone. So yeah, it changed everything as far as breaking goes, you know. So
I mean, on the long term, do you feel that this kind of like pandemic or lockdown going from 100 to 0 events will have a more everlasting change on the way how we approach events? Because I mean, the core thing has always been battling, you know, like meeting one another on the floor, ciphering or doing competitions. Now that we are stuck for not even a couple of weeks, but maybe even the rest of the year, or maybe even longer, do you think there will be some everlasting changes to the breaking community, how we cope with this, or what's your approach?
I think so, and I hope so. I think that I think some b-boys they get spoiled a lot, you know, and you know, I've been going to IBE. Rockforce has had a big history at IBE, you know, because you know they Nighttown was where Rockforce was a family happened. And then I went to IBE 05, luckily for Tyrone and Machine inviting me to go. And I've seen it go from like IBE 05 was like one of the best ones, right? So I've seen it go from like here, then IBE started to seem like the b-boy, the top styles and the culture of IBE was getting bigger, but the b-boy battles were getting smaller. And I felt like b-boys weren't appreciating those kind of events anymore. So hopefully I think that more b-boys will start appreciating events more and they'll just start going. And I think the big prizes and so many events happening, it made the b-boys a little spoiled. So I think that hopefully they'll like have a wake-up call and just start appreciating just events and appreciating promoters. Like, you know, I really do appreciate like huge, like I grew up watching UK champs, you know? So I appreciate Tyrone. I think that's why we have a good relationship, is because I genuinely appreciate these guys. So, but I know a lot of b-boys, they don't appreciate the promoters. And I think that's very important to like, think about it, bro. Like without the promoters, the scene is dead. Like it's nothing gonna happen. We can still break and I'm still gonna break, but as far as interacting with other people, just imagine if there was no IBE, if there was no freestyle session. The scene would be hurting, dude. I probably wouldn't have an endorsement the way I have endorsed by Monster. There wouldn't be no BC1, nothing, you know. So we have to appreciate these people, you know what I mean? So I think hopefully that changes it.
Yeah. I think even for when before Silverback, even I think it was like before 2017, there have been a couple of years where there were not much events happening in the US even, you know, like if there's no events, it's so hard to build your name, to represent your crew and everything. So you have to either travel more or explore different possibilities or something. But absolutely, I mean, even at like end of 90s, beginning of 2000s, you were lucky if every 2 or 3 months there was an event or something, you know. And now it's people even in Holland deciding sometimes like, oh, I'm not going to travel to this event this weekend because next weekend there's an event in my own town, so I'll just skip it, you know. And
then, I think that's the biggest part that's going to change. And I think a lot of b-boys, what they should do is make sure they have backup plans, you know, like so, you know, the people who taught me that I've been around the most, my main teachers are B-Boy Gerald and Paul Ski. Without those two, Paul, you probably wouldn't know who I am today, you know. So Paul has always, he's so big on education, on and off the floor though, not just in breaking, not just in hip hop, but like off the floor, making sure you have a career, multiple sources of career. So for me, like I said, it doesn't affect me as much because I'm not just a b-boy, I guess. I have a different career too. So I think hopefully more b-boys understand that, you can't just break. You have to have multiple sources. And if you are gonna break, at least don't just be the champion b-boy, because that's only one aspect of it, right? You can be an educator, you can be a promoter, you can be an entrepreneur. And you know, B-Boy Moy and what he's doing at Break Free a perfect example of that. He's a champion B-boy. We know that. For me, he's a living legend. I grew up watching him. But now he has his break free stuff. Big person from Monster as far as making the program happen for us. For me, he's an entrepreneur and he's a leader. Same thing with Polsky. They're not just B-boys. And the list goes on, you know, like we can look at Massive Monkeys. So I think hopefully B-boys understand that, yo, it's dope to be on the floor. And it's all fun and games, you know, when we battle, but after the battle, that's real life, you know.
When I've met you in the past at events around the globe, you always have such a positive state of mind. Is that something that you just grew up with nature-wise, or it's something like past learnings that you felt like, okay, I need to have a different state of mind to get the bigger picture? Where does it come from?
So my name's Kareem, obviously. So, and that means generous, right? And my mom, I don't know how she knew, but you know, I've always tried to be as generous as possible. And I've always been a happy baby from what my mom told me. I never cried or nothing like that. So I think it's just how I've always been. However, things in life happen, you know, and me being Muslim, I think that humbled me a lot as far as just appreciation of like the small stuff, right? Like just being able to clap your hands, that's amazing, you know. Some people can't do that, you know. I think seeing my teacher passed away, and I didn't, you know, when you're young, you kind of have like a certain a mindset to where you don't understand some things, you know. And him passing away made me realize I honestly needed him a lot, you know. I really, even to this day, like breaking is not the same for me. So seeing him pass away, and I seen him pass, like it's not like I was in a hospital bed with him passing. And also, too, the crazy part is Valley Year 99 happened. They Rockforce won versus the family. After Valley Year 99, Gerald got shot. He was like 17 years old. That's when I met him in the hospital. And that's when I started taking breaking to the next level. Once I met him, to see somebody go so high and then go so low to where he couldn't walk. Was really humbling to me and made me appreciate a lot of things. So I think honestly, man, I think it's how I am, and I think it's the people I have around me, my family. But yeah, bro, honestly, there's no reason to be mad. Like what is there to be mad about, bro? There's people that can't walk right now. There's people that can't hear. Like, but you know, we're able to dance. So for me, I'm not gonna go out there and be a mad b-boy. Like what is the point of that? Like, oh, bro, I know you from breaking. You're from Holland. I'm from America. That's amazing. Like, so when I see you, I'm going to give that energy off, you know?
Exactly. That's nice. I mean, it definitely puts things in perspective, you know, and it makes you like appreciate what you have around you. And that even with breaking, because you got infected with breaking and you're passionate about it, it's like your lifestyle. Somehow you're able to have all those appreciated moments, but even are able to connect with people from around the globe that probably you would never be connected to, right? So,
dude, and that's the thing about these events is some people, you know, they have so many opinions about these events, man, and they don't understand that, yo, these people like Cross, Polsky, Thomas, like now JP, like all these people, you know, we have to appreciate these guys. Yuval, like the list can go on. Amjad, Nico from Hip Hop Obsession. Like, we have to appreciate these people, man, because they make this stuff happen for us. IBE made me have a connection with Holland that I'd never had before. I just seen it on video, you know, and for me, I think it's amazing that these guys do this. So I'm going to appreciate these guys. Like, I'm going to appreciate even the small people. I'm going to appreciate them, not just the big people. So I just honestly have more appreciation. And I think that's why I'm so, I try to be so chill about things. And the battle is totally different, obviously, because I try to battle as hard as possible. But outside the battle, bro, I mean, I'm just a human being, you know, so try to appreciate the small stuff.
Could you take me back to maybe your top 3 moments in your breaking career? It could be an event, could be another moment that you feel like, okay, this has been like a defining moment for me, you know? Could you take us back to your three historic moments from your breaking career?
Man, that's crazy. That's that's too much, you know? I mean, 20 years in this game, 20 years in this game is a long time. But I would say, to be honest, I think once I went to France for a total session with Benji, Reveal, Iron Monkey, Jeff, Bionic, um, Vietnam, and when we battled the family, and I was only 15 years old at the time. That's when I was like, that was a big moment for me, because I was fairly unknown, you know. But I think that event and just going to France helped my career so much. That was a big moment. I think winning UK champs, the one-on-one, was big for me too, just because that whole year was actually huge for me, dude. Because I won World BBoy Classic, Battle of the Year, UK champs. What else did I win? I won World BBoy Classic I won that one, and the next day I went to France and I won another event with Stripes and Morris. So 2012 was a huge year. 2015 was a huge year too. But as far as the last moment that I think was a big moment was taking my mom to Italy for the first time, because she's never went out the country before. And for me, that was huge because she was the person that allowed me to travel the world at 14 years old, you know? So to take her to Italy for the first time, offer breakdancing money, was huge for me, was really, really huge for me. Yeah, I think those are maybe the three major moments in my career for sure. And obviously being endorsed by Monster, and then winning UK champs again with the crew was pretty cool too.
It's also what you mentioned, taking your mommy to Italy. It's giving back, right? It's like,
yeah,
maybe they have been having doubts before or whatever, but it's really to show like, okay, that you're able to do this and to give that back. That's great, man. That's absolutely.
But that's the funny part. My mom has always been supportive. Like, it's kind of crazy how supportive my mom has been, because at such a young age, she always is like, you're the best. You're the best. You're the best. Like, even when I knew I was trashed, you know? Even my grandma took me to a Circus Soleil show before I was even breaking. And I was so amazed by the show. My grandma and my mom were like, oh, you can do this. Like, you can do this one day. So I think, and then I performed with Circus Soleil for like 4 or 5 years. So I think that, you know, they're a major part of everything. My mom is like a believer. Like, she's the #1 supporter. So
nice.
Yeah, man, I definitely got to give back to her every chance I get, dude. Every chance I get.
You just talked about when going into battle mode, obviously it's a different kind of state of mind that you would have going in, just experience the culture. Is it something you also kind of got a hang of it being among the guys from Rockforce? How was that first approach with them?
So yeah, I think you know, being around so many great dancers, because I grew up in Sacramento, California, and the crews that were around at the time were Rockforce, Soul Control, Renegades, BBoy Ivan, you know, like, and so at a young age, I would see Ivan around, and I wouldn't think none of it because I saw him so much. I didn't think of him being, oh, that's Ivan, or oh, that's Iron Monkey, or that's Charles, or that's Pablo. I knew Iron Monkey as Sean. I didn't know him as Iron Monkey, right? I knew Ivan. I knew Reveal as Ryan. So I didn't really realize that these guys are some of the best dancers in the world. So when they put a certain status, when their level they put up, I thought it was normal. You know what I mean? So like, for me to be at a high level, I didn't understand it at the time. I was so young, I didn't understand it. Gerald being who he was, I literally thought it was just what you do. And I thought all breakers were on that level. So yeah, I think that's a big part of who I am now as a person and what I've done in battles. If you watch my mannerisms, I have a lot of Iron Monkey mannerisms because he was one of my main people I was around the most. Like, for me to laugh in a battle, Iron Monkey laughs all the time in battles. If you watch him, he's always making fun of somebody. I'm always making fun of somebody. and just honestly believing, because I'm Paul, being my teacher, he kind of made me learn all the history of breaking. Not kind of, he did. So to learn like the Bronx style, to learning to European flow, to learning about Paolo, knowing that all these great people and studying these great people made me realize like, yo, I can be just like them, and just taking pieces here and there. Honestly, yeah, I think that had a big part of me being a big battler, and actually, you know what, spending time with these people, because you see them like Rashdi from the fan, you see them in a battle, and they battle hard, but then outside of a battle, he's one of the nicest people there is, So I think it's a big part. I mean, Rockforce without Rockforce, I wouldn't be here.
I think it's also like a fortunate situation, that you have being among those people and like getting lifted up. And obviously it needs to be your intrinsic motivation you have to do it yourself in the end, but to be among those people, that's obviously a great asset to have. If people are in that situation that they don't have those people around, for example, is there, from historic relevance, is there a certain video or event you would recommend to maybe a beginning dancer, saying, like, okay, even if you don't have all of the information, maybe this is something to start with or to look up to or get involved,
I think it is an intrinsic thing for sure, like just to speak on that. But at the same time, I think if you look at all the great dancers that we've seen and that have won, or that have been in our presence, and ultimately have had some great people around them. From the Minnows, Minnow being who he is, he had damn, I forgot his name.
Disco, or the guy from the other guys from Funky Styles and Hustle Kids, and also Gassama, maybe the guy from Death Dogs.
But he had Holland had I don't know how I forgot his name. He's an underground B-boy. And I have to say him because for me, he's Rabani.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know how I forgot that name. Rabani. Rabani, man, people don't understand about that guy. That guy is the assassin, dude. Like, he is, for me, he's a legend, So, Hustle Kids or anyone in Holland, even being around Rabani, hearing about Rabani, that has helped. But I think as far as events and stuff like that, or videos to watch, there's so many good interviews that you have to watch these interviews with these people, to watching interviews with Cross to learn about, and they're all on YouTube now, so I would honestly put B-Boy videos in and just start watching those and documenting, like, reading those. There's a lot of Mighty 4 interviews that are on with Track 2, Ness, the list can go on, but man, I would definitely look at those. You have Mr. Wiggles breakaway DVDs that are on YouTube. Definitely watch those. And to be honest, it's just being a student of the dance. It's not even about watching these competitions. You can watch a Silverback Open, or you can watch a BC1 or a freestyle session, and you can understand the moves. You can see the moves, but to understand the grasp, how these people came up with these moves, how their mindset was in these battles, you have to do your research on these interviews. You have to, especially if you don't know these people. Luckily I've been able to really know these people. That's why I think I've been able to stay in the game the way I have been. But if you don't know these people, don't just watch them on the dance floor. See how they are off the dance floor with these interviews. So I would definitely do that.
Is there maybe an inspiring book you've read in the past that you feel like, okay, this, I don't know, whether it's for motivation or just really for learning? Is there a specific book you would recommend?
So I'm really big on manifestation and stuff. And so the first book, I remember we talked about 2012 being one of my big years. That year I was reading constantly The Secret. And so even I would read that a lot, dude. And I feel like that was a big moment. And I need to read that actually now, I think, because I haven't read in a while. But that's a good book to read, just to manifest a lot of things in your life. The Power of Now was a good book. Any Eckhart Tolle or Eckhart Tolle, however you say it, the author is a great book. And if you're spiritual or you're religious, definitely read your Quran or your Bible, or definitely do that, because that'll help too,
To conclude this interview, there's just one last question I have to ask, and it's been on my mind for so many times, and I wanted to ask you this question before as well. I remember from way back, I once heard Vietnam say that when you, as a Rockforce member, enter a cipher, there's a certain rule that you have to take before you even quit that round when doing it, when in the cipher. Is it something you could tell me a little bit more about, or what's that?
So Rockforce as a crew, we have a couple traditions, because the crew's been around since the '80s. So we have a long generation of in history of breaking. But I think the new generation for us is we're the third generation. So I would say the rule that we have is we have a 7-0 rule, which 7 O's means like you do 7 blow-ups. And that came from like Reveal in Vietnam. And yeah, you pretty much essentially have to just blow it up. Like, and you have to dominate, which is why every member that we usually have in our crew dominates in some way, shape, or form, or kills it in any way possible. So yeah, Vietnam is a master of blowing shit up, so I think that's what he's applying to. So yeah.
Nice. I appreciate your time, man. It's been really valuable to talk to you, to not only talk about the current situation and for everybody understanding how such a challenging period is, but it's also great to reflect a little bit on some great moments and hopefully inspire people. And I'm sure that with the things you said, I'm sure that many people will be inspired by the words you just said, man. So I definitely appreciate it. Thanks a lot for taking that time. Absolutely.
Oh, man. Thank you, Paul. I mean, I think I appreciate you. Just, man, we've been knowing each other for a long time, dude.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate your good energy. You've always been hella cool and welcoming, dude. Even when we did the BC1 Italy, you did the interview with me, and I appreciate, you guys always, your guys' whole IBE team. You guys always been cool, man. I just appreciate you guys. So good luck with everything, dude. And I hope everything works out, dude, for this year for World Big Classic and everything, dude. I really do.
Absolutely, man. Let's look on the long term, look for the opportunities that we do have, right?
For sure, dude. All right, Paul. You have a good one, brother.
Appreciate it. Peace, man. Cheers.
Peace, bro.